Hello thrillers, welcome back to the channel. To the returning subscribers, you're very much welcome. Thank you for sticking to this very channel. If this is your first time coming on here, you're also much welcome. Good to have you here. All right, so today, as seen on the thumbnail, we have a jacket or blazers to make, and because this is what you want to watch out for, we are going to give it to you detailed and concise, so watch out for it. Okay, I don't want to drag this on my fabric directly. I just want it to be clear. So that's why I'm using pattern paper. So this is a very long paper here. The length that I want it to get to 42 or 43 inches. So that's why I have this. I even attached here, as you can see. And now we are cutting for the back first. To conserve my pattern paper, so I will use it for both the front and the back. This is what I did. This is my center fold, so there I marked out about 4 inches, marked it down straight and I folded. Then on the top side I marked like you can use 6 inches, but I marked 7 inches. This is for the front collar, this is for the lapel, so I marked it and I folded it inwards. But you can go ahead and draft yours separately. So dressing our basic bodice, I'm not going to mark out a starting point line because of what I have here, okay? So shoulder to bust is 9.75 inches, shoulder to waist 15.5 inches, shoulder to hip is 25.5 inches. Length of the dress, I'll make it 42, or rather the length of the dress actually is 41 inches, then 1 inch is for hemming allowance, so I'll mark it out. So I'll go ahead and cut out the excess I have. Then coming over to the neck region, I want to work with a neck width of 3 inches. So that's what I'm marking. And the shoulder to shoulder divided by 2 is 7.75. And I'll measure and mark it there also. Then the neck depth I want for the back is 1.5 inches. And that is what I'll mark. Please make use of your measurements in all these things. All right, so to get a straight line, I'll mark the same thing I have on the shoulder to shoulder down here. That is 7.75. I'll mark it here to get a straight armhole line and I will connect. Armhole circumference is 16.5 inches divided by 2 is 8.25. I'm going to make it 8.75. That's adding half an inch, for ease. But if you want yours to be just your body size, just divide your armhole circumference by 2. So I'll come down here by 8.75. Remember, I'm adding half an inch and I'll mark it. So I'll have to extend this line to get to that point. I'll mark a line across. That will be my chest line. Bust circumference is 38 inches divided by 4 is 9.5 inches. Here, then I'll add half an inch for ease. Half an inch for ease. Then for the waist circumference, 31 inches divided by 4 is 7.75. I'll mark it here and also add half an inch for ease. The hip circumference is 40 inches divided by 4 is 10 inches plus half an inch is allowance. Then I'll mark this same hip here down. So that is 10.5. I'll mark it here. Then because this is going to kind of flake out a little bit, I'll add extra 1.5. All right. Then I'll connect. So this is it. This is my 1 inch hemming allowance. And on this point, I just came up to the chest. Because our shoulder is slant in nature, it's not straight, we're going to come down here by 1 inch for shoulder slope. For the front armhole, you're going to divide what you have here, find the midpoint. I'll do it this way. And from there, I come in by half an inch. And then back to here. I used red for it to denote the front, but the back armhole is just as straight as this. All right, so this right here is for the back, while this is for the front. Then I'll connect this to the stair. Before we forget, this is going to have that, so the bust span divided by 2 is 4 inches, and on this 4 inches, half inch on both sides, half inch here. I'll mark the same 4 inches on the hip and on the chest. This is the dart for the back. It extends to the chest. From the hip, will come up by 2 inches. All right, this is the dart for the back. But for the front starts from the bust, you come down by 1 inch. And I'll use broken lines for this. All right, that's just the difference. Because of this that we took, it is 1 inch. The total is 1 inch. If we sew this in, it's going to reduce our waist. So we have to replace it to the side. So you go out on the side by 1 inch, and then I'm going to remark it. So that cancels this out. I'll add just 1.25 sewing allowance on the side, and I'll mark it out. Then on the armhole, of course, you're giving allowance first to the back part of it. So just half an inch, following the mark we have, half an inch. So you see the back, half an inch. I connected it here. I used broken line to indicate the allowance, and this is almost all for the back, but I did not put allowance here and on the neck. So I want to create a little curve here, so I'll come up from the hemline by 1 inch, which is on this line, and I'll create a curve so it takes the shape. I'll cut off this part. Finally, because we don't want the back, the center back to just be straight, we want it to kind of take the shape of the curved back because of the bum area. So what we are going to do here is I'm going to come in by 0.75 inch, which is here, and I'll connect it to the neck and down. All right, this is it. Okay, and that's all for the back. So I'll go ahead and cut. Alright, I did this because normally I'm supposed to cut this out, but because I want to use this pattern paper again for the front, that's why I did it this way. I have my lining here, and this is 4 yards of fabric that I cut, okay? So I'll just come out by half an inch all the way, and I'll connect it. So here is it. I came up on the neckline by half an inch here, and I opened it up and connected. If you can also watch here, I gave half an inch on the shoulder line to half of an inch. So I'll go ahead and cut. This is it for the back, and I'll take it out and let's go ahead for the front. But before that, let's transfer these darts. Okay, so I use my chalk and mark it. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do for these points also. This is for the front, and I'm going ahead to clean that line inside here. I've cleaned it out. I should also clean the back neck, but before that, I want to measure what I have. So you go ahead and measure yours, following the curve. So I have 3.5 here, and I'm going to write for the back. I'm going to write it down somewhere, and for the buttonhole, we're going to come out here in the center by 1 inch. I want to use 1 inch. I've cleaned the back, so still maintaining the neck width. The neck depth for the back is also 3, so it is now 3 by 3 inches. Sorry, for the front. So you now decide your lapel breaking point. Oftentimes you can use your waist region. This is the waist, or however, but for this dress, I'm making use of 21 inches. All right, then I'll connect this, as you can see already, to the neckline, and because of the collar, the back collar, I'll have to extend this line too. Following the diagonal line already, I'll extend it like this. Let me turn it around so that it will be clear. At this extension from this neck point, I'll make sure I have the measurement I took from my back, and that is 3.5 inches. So I clean up the rest. We have to come backwards by half an inch to make this place a little bit curvy. You know the reason, because our back is not straight. It's not straight as this. So you come down, you come in here by half an inch and still connect it down. So I can still measure it to make sure I have 3.5. And I have 3.5 there. This is out. I didn't mention, please, this is for the collar. This dress has collar. So for the collar width, the amount you're going to fold, I want my own to be 4 inches. You can make use of 3 inches or 3.5, but I want mine to be 4 inches. And I'm not marking it. I'm not going to just go straight like this. I'll still keep it up to create an angle. So this will look like an angle of 90, whichever. All right, so I have my 4 inches here. All right, so this is why you really need mathematics in fashion. If you don't know how to do mathematics, your elementary mathematics, you need to go back to it. Then to create the notch, this is the part that will form your lapel. But in case it is small for you, this part, you're going to fold it inwards. In case it is small for you, you can increase it. So from here, I'll mark out 2 inches. And that's for my lapel. Create a straight line to the breaking point. Or you can, just create a curve from here to here. Just play around it. For my notch, come up here by 0.75. That's from here. Then I'll connect it to here, or you can connect it to this point, So with my curve, okay, and then for this point also, I will make it curve a little bit, please. And I tell you, this is all. That is all. So I used red to highlight for the front, just like this, okay. So I'll go ahead and also correct the armhole for the front. So following the shape of this front, I'll trace out. Remember that the dart for the front end starts here. So just cut this place. Then you see this point where this and this met, I will notch it. I'll also notch it on the fabric and cotton. I've gone ahead to fold the front, and I've cut it already, giving half an inch sewing allowance on those points, on the neck, on the shoulder line, but the side remains the same because we already have allowance. So I did this down, and I went ahead to notch this point that I told you. This is the collar, this side is the fold. So I folded the lining and the main fabric and placed it half an inch all the way around. And the point of the knot, I also went ahead to, hold it down and notch it. Then I'll proceed to transfer the darts, these, just like we did for the back side. I've also gone ahead to cut for the sleeve. All right, I have a tutorial, a very detailed tutorial of the 2 methods you can use to draft your sleeve. We'll link it up. Just look at the top right now, the top right. Click the link there. It will take you to the drafting of the sleeve. I'll also pin it to the comment section, to the description box. So everywhere, go ahead and do yours. So I've gone ahead to do that and cut this out. But for the lining of the sleeves, I made it shorter by 1 inch. Already went ahead to label it. This is the left sleeve, and this is the right sleeve. For the lining of the front, we would have cut it exactly like this, but because of the lapel, and the lapel comes this way, showing the back side here. So we want to use the same material for that part that will be here. So for that reason, right, on the shoulder part, I'm going to just divide it into 2 off here and connect it down. Here is it. We have 4 inches dart here, right? So I'm still going to use that 4 inches. Mark it down. I'll go ahead and cut it. Now this part will be the main fabric, while this one will be the lining. So I've gone ahead to cut it, and this is what I have, okay? Half inch on the shoulder, half inch on the center, half inch this way to join this together, and half inch here. And with this, we've come to the end of this tutorial for today. Sorry, for this particular one. So in the next one will be the joining of everything we've cut so far. So you have to stay tuned, all right? And if you've enjoyed this tutorial so far, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and share. So see you in my next one. Bye.